Good morning. I'm not sure where to begin here. I don't think I've put a video out or a live stream in probably 3 years. So if anyone is still here, thank you for your patience. I am so sorry. I will probably put out a video or a live stream to talk about my absence. But this morning is actually a test for coming back. I have had technology issues. My software failed, a whole lot of life things. So today is just kind of a trial run to maybe start a new update post layoff. So, for clarification, yesterday, after nearly 20 years with my company, I was laid off. Now, I have a whole mixed bag of feelings about this, but one thing that I'm not is bitter. And I know that might be surprising to some people who've been through layoffs. Um, and who knows what my feelings will be next week or next month. What I know is that over the time that I was with my employer, they were pretty good to me. I had I had a good situation, so I'm not angry that they had to make a business decision which included me. I am, however, relieved, terrified, sad, hopeful. Uh, I've been through the range. So I would like to talk about getting called into the meeting. My boss was amazing. She has been a solid leader um, for the time that I answered to her. I'm not here to speak ill about my company, my boss, um, my experience. And part of that is because my job was good to me. Yes, there were things I didn't like. Yes, there were things that um, I could have done better myself over the years. Yes, I am so disappointed to be 3 months from my 20-year anniversary to be called into a meeting and told your role has been impacted. So I started this playlist this morning to talk about being laid off, what happens next, um, the process for moving forward, all the things. So, to talk about that a little bit, I did receive all of the usual information. Um, I had the conversation that nobody did anything wrong. It was a business decision. Having been with my company for as long as I was, this is something I understand. I've seen it before. And I expect this is also not the last time. I know several people who've been laid off who came back to the company. I'm hoping that I might be one of them. Um, but we'll see. Time will tell. I do have some I do have some irons in the fire already, um, part of which involves this playlist. So hopefully we'll be able to move forward. One thing I do recommend is um, make a list. Make a list. I love lists. Um, but before jumping into immediate uh, applications and job searches, let yourself process if it happens to you. I started yesterday immediately jumping into action and then was pleasantly interrupted by a day full of supportive phone calls and text messages, well wishes, people keeping in touch. I highly recommend giving yourself the time to do that. Give yourself the time to grieve. I was not going to do that. I was going to jump in and have 7 applications in by the end of the day, including applying for other positions back with the same company. On the advice of several friends I spoke with who also have been through the layoff process, as I have not been, I decided to take their advice. They all, every single person, and I spoke to 4, 5 people that have been through the layoff process, and every single one of them told me the same thing: to give myself time to grieve, to let myself breathe for a moment, take a day or 2 before jumping in, and I think that is very wise advice. I do plan to take that, and in the process, that lets me be a little more organized, and I have a whole list of what next to look at. So let's talk about the list a little bit. Um, First of all, the first thing to put on the list is to make a list. Um, what should be on this list? We should make actually several lists, but first, I recommend what I'm doing, and you may have a different processing technique that works for you. But one of the very first things we did was make a list of all of the monthly bills and all of um, the yeah, all of the monthly bills separated by the essentials: mortgage, utilities, phone, the gas bill, the water bill, um, those things. And the second portion of that being the non-essentials, subscriptions. My I don't have a lot of unnecessary subscriptions, but there are a few that I'm going to look at. Um, Things that are optional, things that can be cut back on. And So I am immediately stopping my fitness subscription, my um one of my VPN subscriptions, and probably some of my viewing subscriptions, but I'm not 100% on that yet. Um, Depending on what happens here, actually. So, we're that's the first thing. Next, what else needs to be done? Do we have to cancel any subscriptions? Add that to the list. Do we have any accounts that need to be reworked? Add that to the list. Another list we want to do is probably even more important to start with after we get the bills organized. Um, we want to look at the next steps. Are we cashing out a retirement plan? We have documentation to sign, so we have decisions to make about that. Are we, um, oh, well, this is hard. I am so emotional, but trying to stay focused on the future. Um, so forgive me. Forgive me when the eyes water, I cry, my allergies are out of control. It's just a lot all at once. But as I was saying, there are a lot of things to think about now. Um, what paperwork do I have to sign? What is the deadline for that paperwork? Returning equipment the to the company. Communicating with HR to set up exit interviews, all of those things. And there's more. I mean, that's certainly not a comprehensive list, but it is just, um, just to get started and to help keep the thoughts organized and stay focused and not lose, not lose track of all the things because there's a lot. We don't typically think about all the things when we're not expecting a layoff. But when it happens, you get a lot all at once. Another thing to consider, if you do have a company provided computer, do you have any personal documentation or information, personal photos on it? Um, any documents you might have saved, make sure you get all of that saved to um, a USB drive or your personal cloud. My computer won't let me get to my personal cloud. In fact, immediately after my notification, they shut down everything, not just my access to company files, but they disabled my internet access. Not my home internet access, but the internet access on my computer. So that is something to think about as well. Another thing to add to the list is to review and update the resume, check, your social media and LinkedIn profiles, any job search site profiles you might have. That is all on my list for today, particularly the resume, because I do have a job lead that I'm going to be applying for here this morning before too much longer. But I just wanted to give a check in and at least get the process started. And, maybe we talk about the layoff experience, the process. Where do we go from here? I have some ideas. Um, we do have somewhat of a financial plan, not set in stone yet, um, but we're working on it, and hopefully we'll get it all worked out. I mean, this is a scary time. Layoffs are hard. It's hard for the people who are left to see their coworkers go, especially when you've worked with people for this long. It's hard for those of us who are going. I'm just processing and looking at all the options for the next chapter. I'm considering, will I go back to school? Will I just jump back in and go back to the same type of job? Will I look for something different? Will I do a variety of things? That's likely what will happen. Um, do I start a new business? Do I amp up an existing project? Do I build a website and and put that out there? What next? So I have a lot to think about. Anyone who's ever been through this probably has had a lot to think about. So anyway, today I finally figured out how to get back onto YouTube for a test run live stream. Thank you for joining me um, in replay or however you might end up seeing this if you do. And if not, that's okay too. Hopefully, we'll figure out how to get back on here more regularly. So, to everyone watching or thinking about watching, friends, family, coworkers, colleagues, professional acquaintances, thank you for all the support, all the love. My priority now is to get my resume updated for the job I'm going to apply for today. And then I'm going to enjoy my long holiday weekend, and I hope you do the same. Thank you so much for all the support. Stay blessed.